Hey guys, so I don't know how I'm trying to set up this video. My kitchen is really kind of dark, but I am going to do our whole, like I do all of our salves and that type of stuff usually in like a day or two, and then after that I'll do the soaps. So right now today my goal is to do some lip balm and then do some different salves that we use in our own home. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take all these jars, which I've been setting for the past few weeks, actually probably about 2 months now. This is arnica, and then I have comfrey, this is plantain, and this is calendula or calendula, however you want to say it. These herbs I grew myself, and then I just I actually took a video of a couple of those, and I will insert that in just a second. So, and then this is lemon balm, and this is going to be just for lips, and these are going to be for the salves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain these. Okay, so here we have some dry calendula flowers, and I am going to cover those with some olive oil. We are using an organic olive oil. I like it pretty dense, so I usually go about 1 inch over the dry flowers. If I'm using fresh, then I would fill about three quarters. So I will have it like this, and then I'll put the cover on. And then I will shake it, and I will leave this 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll leave it on my counter probably and just keep shaking it 4 to 6 weeks, and then we'll come back and make a salve. So I'm going to make a couple salves. In order to make salves, I need to start with herbs. You can use fresh or dry herbs. I usually end up using dry herbs, but you can as well use fresh. And so I put this fresh lemon balm in there, and I'm going to take this olive oil, organic olive oil, and I'm going to fill the jar. So you want the jar of herbs, dried or fresh, to be about 3/4 of the container. And then we're going to just do this and cover this. And then we'll shake it. And I'll put that in, some people say a sunny place, some people say a dark place. I end up putting it usually on my counter, and then I'll just periodically shake like this, and in 4 weeks then we will make something with it. So I'm just going to strain these here. So I'm just going to take a funnel like this, and then I put my strainer. I use a strainer for absolutely everything. Let me lift you guys up a little bit. There we go. So the strainer on top of that, and then I'm just going to slowly dump these into there. For me, because I'm going to combine them, I'm not going to rinse it out in between, but I am going to do like my lightest oils first. So these are in avocado oil. You can use any oil that you want to use for that. I'm okay because it's just for me and our household not to double strain it. But if you were going to sell something like this, you'd want to strain it once like this, and then you'd strain it through like a piece of muslin or like a flour sack or something like that. Okay. Just get the pig bucket out, and it's not in there. Okay, I'm gonna throw this oil in the pig bucket. Alrighty. So I want that to finish dripping. This is the calendula oil. So calendula is really good for inflammation. It's also really gentle on your skin, so it can be used even like on baby's bums. So if I was doing a diaper rash cream, which I'm not doing today, I would be using calendula with some different oils and maybe some like lavender essential oils, and that would be nice and gentle for a diaper wash. A diaper cream, it would be nice and gentle. So then I'm just squeezing the top here, like pressing this down to get all the oils out of there. So I'm going to take and dump that in the pig bucket. That's what I'm doing. Alright, so that's calendula. And then this one I'm going to do here is going to be, I think I'm going to do arnica next. Arnica is a great pain relief, so I'm not going to use this in every one of my things, or I'm not going to use a lot of it in each one, but arnica is good for like a muscle rub. I think you've probably seen like the arnica cream on the shelves in like your local Walmart. It seems to be like a new trending thing is people like arnica. It's not like a muscle rub as far as you would have for maybe like those icy hots or something like that. It's more like a deep type of muscle relief. Squish these a little bit so I can fit the rest of them in. I'm using arnica flowers and a little bit of the leaves in this. And you can grow, we are zone 4, so you can grow all these things here. The plantain, actually, it just comes all over our yard. It is like everywhere. But it's such a good herb. This I grew in my garden. And then the calendula is really just a pretty flower, whether you're going to use it in salves or not, but it has so many health benefits. If you look it up, there's just like a ton of different health benefits. I know for me, for this, I'm using it mainly for the inflammation properties that it has, because in any boo-boo or any skin condition, the biggest thing is inflammation. That's what's causing the redness. That's what's causing the soreness. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just rinse the lids to these that I had already on them that say, okay, these ones don't say what they are. That's not helpful. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just because I'm going to be using it right now, is I'm just going to put these lids back on. And I don't know that they're actually going to stick anything, so I'm just going to write little things on here. I mean, real fancy, right? All right, and I'm putting that under the jar just so I know what jar is what when I go to make things, but it doesn't need to be fancy because I'm going to be using most of this. And if I don't, then I'll decide what size jar I'm going to be using for labeling and that type of stuff. So this is arnica. And then we need to strain the other two. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the stove, and I'm just going to turn these two burners on. If you know me, you know my stove. And that burner does not like to always come on, but I love propane on propane. I really do. So actually, one of these I need to put this, which is, it was leftover beeswax. So I am going to use this. Do you want to help? Yeah. I'd appreciate it. There we go. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put this in the smaller one, and that beeswax is going to melt down. I do it that way because I don't buy the little, you can buy like little, I think they're called, I don't know what they're called. They're little tiny like circles, ballastines or something like that. I forget the name of them. That's wrong. You guys can tell me in the comments below how wrong I got that. But little round beads of beeswax. This beeswax that I have is actually from our bees. So this, we had bees, all of them died in the winter. I did this, see the back's kind of yucky, but I'll actually scrape that off before we use that, or I'll like grate it. So this is what I'm using as far as my salves. I'm using the beeswax that we used to have. I'm hoping maybe we'll get back into bees. We shall see. All right, let's go back to this. Get another jar. And this funnel and this. And then we're going to do comfrey. Comfrey was also known as, or is sometimes also known as bone heal. And it has a good reason for that. People have made like plasters and different things and wrapped them around wounds and actually healed broken bones over it. I didn't. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take my comfrey and I'll dry it out and then I'll crumble it up and then I'll use it like that. This, I just used fresh comfrey. I just shoved a bunch of leaves in there and did it in here. So kind of a, all right, let's see. Kind of a funny thing, a funny story, if you will, is I went to get, I gotta wait for this to drip. Wanted comfrey so bad, and I tried like comfrey seeds like so many times to get comfrey, and I heard all these great things about comfrey and how you can feed it to your animals and how it's just so good for like animals and so good for healing and it's so good for all these things. And I just wanted comfrey so bad. And so I eventually, after about 3 years of trying to order things online and get them, I was at a nursery and on the way to like a school field trip. And I went there and I asked the lady, I said, so do you have any comfrey? And she's like, yes. And she's like, but it's not here. And I was like, okay. And she goes, can you just follow me? I was very pregnant at this time. And she goes, can you just follow me? We're right across the street. Just come over across the street and we'll just dig however much you want to. It just goes everywhere, and I'm thinking to myself, I wish I could have it go everywhere, because to me, it was so hard to grow. Well, I dug up, or my husband dug up like a clump, maybe like this, and literally it has been like all over the place. I have comfrey here, I have comfrey there, I have comfrey there. I have it all over the place. So if you're local and you need comfrey and it is summertime, feel free to come ask for some comfrey, because I have plenty of comfrey. But it is so good. We feed it to our animals, chickens, sheep, everything. We feed it to them, and it is really good. So this is draining out. Okay, it was like in between modes there for a minute, and I don't know what was going on. So I just had to like turn the camera off and then turn it back on. So this is the comfrey. I'm not going to scrape it out right at this minute. But all the nutritional, when you do this, all the nutritional properties come out of, and medicinal properties come out of the plant. Now, remember, I am only doing this for my family. I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I have no medical thing. This is not medical advice at all. I am just telling you what I do for my family, because I like to use more natural things. So you do not need to do this. This is just what I'm doing for my family. So I don't know how to do a full disclosure, but I think that's how I do it, right? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a medical doctor, so do your own thing, because I'm doing mine. All right, comfrey. This one does say comfrey on the top. It's like you read all the small things on YouTube, and then, I mean, really, it's like page after page after page. I just forget exactly how you're supposed to say that. I'll put something in the description box below about me not being a medical doctor. I'm just a mama. Okay, so this is plantain. Here we have this growing all over the place, all over the yard. It, maybe what I'll do is at the end of this video, I will try to get pictures of each of the things that I used as a plant and put them at the end of this video so you guys can see what the actual plant looks like. I hope that would be helpful, because I know in the beginning it was helpful for me to know what something looked like in case I had it in my yard. So I'll get those pictures and I'll link those. I'll get the pictures and then try to put them into the end of this video. Okay, so I just gotta turn this down a little bit because it's boiling. Boiling. And I want it simmering and not boiling. Okay, so now, this is going to be the plantain. Plantain is also good for inflammation. There's a whole lot more to plantain as well. You can look that up yourself. Make sure you're looking at plantain, like the leaf of a, it's like broad leaf or whatever. Like, it's a leaf of a plant. It is not a wannabe banana. All right. not a wannabe banana. I mean, they're good. I've had plantains before. You cut them up and you fry them, and yeah, they're yummy, but that's not what I'm talking about. All right, maybe I'll let this sit upside down too for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit upside down for a minute. And so I use all different types of containers for this type of stuff. I like to use, I have some of these. I had some diaper cream in these, but we haven't been using a lot of diaper cream, so I ended up taking, I used to sell these as well, and I would sell them in these containers. You can get these off of Amazon, but you can also reuse these containers. So, like this, we tend to use bigger bulk amounts of things. So I have some baby food jars, work great. I have a bunch of those. We can use canning jars, yeah, whatever works. So we're going to be making what I call boo-boo cream. We use that for like absolutely everything. A kid has a scratch, it's kind of like most people use Neosporin, we use boo-boo cream. So we're going to be making that, and then we're going to be making like a muscle rub, and then we'll be making lip balm, and we'll be making one more salve that's a drawing salve that I use if there's splinters and those types of things. And those are the three basics that I do. I used to do a bunch, but I found that I really only use those three basic salves. And then, yeah. So let's see what's going on over here. Okay, so all these canning jars have absolutely nothing to do with what we're doing here. They just happen to be here and need to get brought down into the basement. But if I wait until those got brought into the basement or brought them into the basement, then I wouldn't have enough time to do this before lunch. So I got my boiling water, and then I have my, sorry, little miss came in from outside. She was cold, so I am going to, in there please. If there isn't, then I'll use that one. But so I have a cup measure here, and I am just going to get a cup of coconut oil. You guys are shaking a little bit because you're on this counter. I made this counter, but it's not actually screwed down because it's kind of crooked, so hey, it works, right? I'm about useful. See if I can move it so you stop bouncing. Okay. Is there any plastic ones? So let's try not to catch this container on fire. Let me see if I can back y'all up a little bit. There we go. So you can see what I'm doing rather than just listening to me talk. So that's good. Yep, that one's good. So we're just going to get a cup of this oil. So I'm just doing a very basic recipe. It's a cup of coconut oil, and I'm going to put that in here. And this is going to be my boo-boo salve. I'm going to do that one first in case I can't get to the other ones because I am almost out of it. And that would be tragical if we ran out of it. Alright. So we're going to do this. This is just a double boiler system. So all we have, you can just put them there. Thank you. All we have is a pan with water, and then I'm putting a glass bowl. You could also use ceramic on top of that, and the water is about an inch lower than the pot is. And I'm doing the same sort of thing for this beeswax. The beeswax is actually pretty much done. I'm just gonna I think I'm gonna turn that off for a minute because I want to keep the properties of it. And it just melted. So this is going to be here. I also need a cup of other oils. So whatever you want to put in here, you can just combine those things. I think what I'm going to do, I am going to double this. So I'm going to do 2 cups of this coconut oil. You guys do not need to. I was going to try to make just a batch for you guys. So, yeah, I just dropped that on the floor and put it in. But the floors literally just got mopped. Thank you to my daughter. I was going to try to make a batch just for you guys and have it like a smaller batch, but you know, let's face it, I'm a big family mama and I have kids that are going to want lunch today, so I am going to make it the way that I would make it. So, I could actually put two and do 2 of these. All right, this is good. 2 cups of coconut oil. Then what I'm going to do is grab some of the oils that I already did. So what I'm going to use for this one is the 3. This is the Boo Boo Cream. So I am going to use half a cup of, here we go, half a cup of this calendula. I'm waiting until this pretty much melts because that's a solid and this is a liquid. So I'm just measuring out the half a cup of calendula, and then I'm going to measure out half a cup of the comfrey in there, and then I'm going to do a full cup of the plantain. So I'll just have that measured out there, and then let's melt this. So it is a couple days before Thanksgiving, so you'd think that I'd be cooking all the yummy stuff. It is Sunday. We did not go to church today. We've had kids passing around, sicknesses last week, and I really just don't want to go to church and then get anyone else sick for this coming week, because, you know, it seems like every time we go out lately that somebody has something, and who knows. So I thought that I'd just try to keep us home and keep us good for Thanksgiving. My aunt is coming up from Massachusetts on Monday, which is tomorrow, so we're going to go pick her up in the city, and then I'll do my weekly grocery shopping during that time. Nice woman, a subscriber to the channel, as well as somebody that we have met quite a few times in real life. She was at a craft fair and stuff that we were at quite a couple times before, and she messaged me, I guess it was a couple days ago, but I didn't get it until last night, that she had a refrigerator in the basement, and I had mentioned a refrigerator on I think it was my last video, maybe not, that we were down to 1 fridge, and she said, oh, you can have this fridge. So that was a super blessing, so I will show you that at the end of this video. That was so exciting. It's just amazing sometimes. I think sometimes we all think that we might not have value, or we may not have things of value, when it could be like so valuable to somebody else, whether it's a skill or knowledge or like a physical thing. So if the Lord shares with you that you should be blessing somebody or whatever, I just appreciate how many times people have blessed us over the years. Alright, so this is almost done here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off. I do not want trying to get you up without dumping over my oils. I don't want my oils that have been soaked with, I don't know all these professional terms, I don't want my oils that have been soaked with the herbs like killed by heat. So I'm not turning those on at all. I know that some people, they like cook down their herbs. I do not. I feel that heat just can destroy some of those properties. I gotta put you guys up a little bit. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add these. I'm trying to clear off my counter so I can set you guys down. Alright. So, let's see. Can you see this? Alright, yes, you can see this. So I'm going to add that 1 cup. It's half of the calendula and half of the comfrey. I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to, okay, wait a minute. I think I just messed up my jars. That's comfrey. Comfrey's darker than plantain. Yes. Okay. I took the lids off and then forgot what I was doing, and my little signs are over there. Okay, so then a cup of plantain in there. Did you know how we made boo-boo cream? That's what I'm making right now. I'll probably make a couple small ones that we can give away too. I'll make some for us and some for other people. What do you think? I should have had bigger containers in here. Do you want to open some of the jars, some of the baby food jars for me? Can you open the lids? Okay, so I'm just going to stir this in real quick. And then I'm going to add some stuff to this. I'm going to add some vitamin E oil. Can you see that? Let's see. There you go. Vitamin E oil. I'm not measuring this. I'm thinking maybe 4 tablespoons. This is vitamin D. I'm adding this. I would not buy this specifically to add it, but our family is low in vitamin D, and I'm just going to add a little bit to it there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of lavender. I started doing Young Living. I started doing Young Living because the quality of the oils are so much different than what I was using. I can even just tell like the scents smell so differently than what I am used to. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to mix in 10 tablespoons of beeswax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So this is going to be the consistency of like, it's spreadable, right? So it's not going to be very hard. If you wanted it really hard, you could add a little bit more beeswax, or you might like scrape your fingernail on it and it would like, you know, be hard like that. I don't like it like that. I want it that I can just smear it right on. Okay. So I'm going to bring this and you guys over there. Okay, so here we go. We are going to just take the oil and put it in each of the tops. So one thing that I want to tell you guys, don't go out and buy people like expensive Christmas gifts. I know so many people are struggling this year just like making their bills, and then they're trying to like go out and buy Christmas gifts. I mean, I think that people appreciate the thought, but these are simple things that you could do that would be very low cost. For me, this is entirely free. Actually, no, it's not entirely free because I bought coconut oil. But for the cost of coconut oil, this is what we have. You could make cookies. You could, what are some things you could make for Christmas? Pot holders.
Hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa, we've done that one year. We made some jars, canning jars, and just made some hot cocoa mix in it and gave that to families. We've definitely done lots of cookies before. We've made cookie mixes. What else?
Gingerbread men.
Gingerbread men,
And
yep.
we had some candy canes, but Eden can't have that.
Yep, she was saying that we had candy canes on them before, but Eden can't have candy canes anymore.
Right.
What are other things that you could make for people? You could make nice cards. Scarves. That's a good idea. Mittens. Hats. You guys are great thinkers. Blankets. You can make some wood projects, a birdhouse, or there's wood burning. And there's a ton of things that you guys could make for cheap. Last year, Actually, I think it was the lady that, yeah, I think it was the lady that just gave us the refrigerator. She gave us some vanilla, and we just opened that this year. That's a great present. I mean,
Vanilla.
yes, vanilla for cooking. So we're just going to take these and put the lids on these. Do you guys want to put the lids on while I make the next thing? So they're going to help by putting the lids on there. And we're going to take you guys back over here and make my next batch. I'm probably going to end up doing that completely again for myself, and then I'm going to show you this next one. I need to cut some, yeah, that other stuff. The beeswax, there we go. I need to cut the beeswax and put it in there. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I forgot to put tea tree in here, so I'm just going to do 3 drops-ish per container. 2 or 3. There we go. And my daughter has one over here. And then I'm just going to use something and stir that. Let's see what we have.
What's that?
Beeswax. I'm just going to stir these,
Can
and then
you
I'm going
eat it, please?
to... not the wax.
The honey though.
Alrighty, so we got 9 baby food jars out of that. Okay guys, I actually put 2 cups of coconut oil in here, but then I needed more beeswax. So I had to get this thing here so that I could fit that whole slab of beeswax in there, and now that's melted down. So I didn't even have this on, it just decided to melt on its own. So that is what is in here. I got the 2 cups of the coconut oil in here, and then what I'm going to do is do 2 cups of the other oils. So you can mix and match however you want to do that. So what I'm doing is actually half a cup of all of these oils. So I'm going to have half a cup of comfrey, half a cup of plantain, half a cup of calendula or calendula, however you want to say it. And then half a cup of arnica. Okay, I have tried to wear an apron like a bunch of times this morning, and then the baby wants to nurse, and then I take it off, and then when I'm actually doing this, I'm not wearing the apron. Alright, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is go grab my apron.